van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days, and it's been weeks, and he has... What do you think, Sarah, this canyon right here?
It's absolutely incredible. I haven't been to Tijuana in a lot of years, and seeing how wide open it is. I mean, I don't know if you could turn the camera around and show everyone just how wide open it is. It's incredible.
A couple of questions. So. Rashida, what is your opinion on the massive child trafficking that is happening? Y espero logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the basically fight for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! La Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.
Good evening to everybody on the East Coast. Good morning still on the West Coast and on Central Time, Mountain Time. Evening also. Thank you so much for joining in. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News, correspondent for Real America's Boys News. God bless everybody that is watching. God bless our country of Mexico, our city of Tijuana. And God bless the United States of America. Let's thank God for giving us 2 legs, 2 arms, a mind that we can think, a heart that we can feel, and eyes that we can see. Today's live feed, I wanted to say a word that says someone needs to be held accountable. It says this is a crisis. But I wanted to put in the title. I wanted to put this, but I cannot put that on the title because ultimately it will be the feed will be dropped. There's a lot of questions that I will answer quickly to the audience that they have been, particularly posting on our pages. So I will clear that out for a lot of people. But I wanted to put this as a title. Someone's hands are covered with blood. This is a crisis. That is the name of the title of this live feed. But I particularly put someone needs to be held accountable. But it is somebody's hands are covered with blood. And they need to be held accountable. And all these people are the ones that they're habilitating, and they are for open borders. These are the people that they have their hands covered with blood. Thank you so much for joining in. Buy Me a Coffee is on the top link. If you guys like to contribute to our independent reporting and broadcasting, but ultimately is for our travel fund. We are going to be traveling soon through Central and South America to show you guys the reality and the truth about what is happening in our continent of America. And then later on in the next year, possibly we go to another continent to show you what is open borders affecting and how this globalization and the globalist compact of immigration, how it is a tragedy and it is a broken system. And we have showed it multiple times before. Now, let's get right into topic. There's a comment right here on the live that says Mexico's crisis. And I will ask this question before I start. You as an American citizen, ask yourself this. if Mexico will get out of the globalist compact of immigration, and if Mexico would have secured his borders, would the United States in this administration stop incentivizing people to come at a massive effect? Will that stop people from coming into the United States massively? Let's stop pointing fingers, because we know that these dictators and these leaders of our countries are incentivizing open borders, and this is causing catastrophes, and people are dying. People are dying. So ask yourself this question, first and foremost. Second of all, there was a post about a gentleman from Saudi Arabia that it was captured in the border, and we will get right into that next in a little bit. But I will get somebody said, are they stopped still in Tapachula? They're not. I'm asking this question. Don't argue with me. Please don't argue with me. I'm asking this question because a lot of people are saying, oh, the Mexico's crisis, they're not stopping them. If we will stop, if the Mexican government would have stopped them, the United States of the Biden administration, would they stop incentivizing this mass open border migration? Come on. Don't. It's not a rhetorical question. It's not a question and I'll ask you and you ask me. No. It's just straightforward. So let's go right into it. There's a post about a migrant from Saudi Arabia that he practically crossed irregularly, and they're saying that he's linked to some terrorist group. This has been happening consistently in our borders in Mexico. Now, this is a national security situation. Why? Because most recently, I just reported that 10 migrants were captured and detained in the one hotel in Tapachula that they have the entity by Turkey and Russia. All this is continuing, and then the number was released by the press of Tapachula that around 2,000 migrants, they have been infiltrated in the caravans by the entities of the Middle East and Russia. So this is something extremely serious, not only about the crisis that a lot of the migrants are living, that a lot of the migrants are particularly migrating, a lot of them with the necessity, but you have these infiltrated people that they are in the caravans, and it is a reality. And we have been saying it for I don't know how many years. I don't know how many years we have been saying it. But there's this picture of this guy that they have his eyes blurred. And a lot of the people are saying, why you blurred his eyes, Oscar Blue? Why? America is freedom, and we should see the freedom of speech, and we should see his face so we can plaster all over the place. I understand your freedom, but that has nothing to do with your freedom of speech, has nothing to do with your constitutional rights, has nothing to do with you being free and oh my God. No, has to do with social media and mainstream media. That ultimately, if we show their eyes and if we show all his face, the feed can be reported. And it can damage our platform. And it has damaged other platforms and mainstream media, and it has damaged other platforms in other places. Clearing that out. I will answer questions. Lastly, let me get right into the program. There's a lot of questions, and I will have a 10-minute question. 10-minute question. Receiving messages from Pastor. And we didn't blur their face. It was shown like that by the Border Patrol. So just to clear that out. So this is what happened yesterday. We have a bunch of news. It's really interesting show, so don't leave. This is what happened yesterday. The migrant, the 56 migrants were in a really horrible accident a couple of weeks ago, where they were being smuggled, and it was a horrible accident in which a truck was carrying 166 of them in the back of a trailer, and 56, and the truck driver lost control, crashed into a bridge, and 56 of them died. All of them with the dream to go to the United States of America. This with the incentivization, of course, of Joseph Biden. Now you get right here. The first migrant, the first 4 migrants that they have just returned home, they just released their bodies, and they just returned home into Guatemala. This is a sad way to see it because you have two standards right here. You have the standard of they migrated irregularly and illegally. Of course, there's a responsibility for that. And ultimately, the necessity make them do that to migrate illegally, to be smuggled with a coyote, and then the aftermath is horrible. But this would not be happening. And this man possibly, and all these 56 souls, possibly will be alive if Joe Biden would not provoke this open border ideology in the world. This is actual video of Jose Torres, our colleague and correspondent for Real America's for Border Network News, and photographer for Routers, and also for Real America's Boys News. So he went over there to Guatemala and he broadcast what it was happening in the funeral as the first body of the migrant. The first body of the migrant arrived to Guatemala. Somebody's asking what happened to the driver. He fled the scene. They can't find him right now. They're looking for him. There's a really deep investigation on this accident, which three leaders of the Institute National Immigration have been halted of their operations and terminated in their operations, and they're being investigated for smuggling of drugs, smuggling of weapons, and smuggling of people. How serious this is. This is video, a minute and 13 seconds of this video, and it will just completely move you. If this man by his name, let me just read it right here. This man, Leonel Gomez Cepeda, one of the 56 migrants who died in the tragic accident, was buried in his hometown. He was 38 years old. He was a fanatic of soccer. He used to play professionally in the first division of Malacateco FC, the team FC, Malacateco FC, that is a first division professional team of soccer. The local team plays professional team in the Guatemala Professional League. He was a forward. They describe him as a really good forward. They used to hit the ball. This is video of him and his 4 children crying at his burial. And then there's words of his father of this horrible tragedy.
Bendecimos a toda la familia, Señor, y a cada uno de los amigos que pudieran venir a despedirlo en esta mañana, porque la vida sigue para nosotros.
That is actual video of the burial of Leonel Gomez. And it is just sad to see this. It's sad to see how this could be avoided because open borders does not work. And now people are realizing that ultimately open borders does not work. And it provokes a humongous problem. It provokes a huge problem. This is his father. Look at his opinion of his father in a 30-second clip. 30-second clip that it was provided by Jose Torres. This is a 30-second clip of his father giving an opinion, and I will translate what he says about his son.
Quería algo mejor, más para su vida.
Por eso es que salió de aquí de Manacatán, señor. Yo quería algo mejor, más para su vida.
He wanted something better for his family to live.
Por eso es que salió de aquí de Manacatán.
That is why he exited Malacataco, his town.
Él era un hombre deportista.
Sí.
He was, Jose asked, he was a really, a professional in sports.
Como ya oyó y aquí está.
Yes, I raised him, and here he is.
Este es el recuerdo.
This is the only memory.
Me deja.
The only memory that he leaves me is his T-shirt when he played professional.
Tanto su amor de
A lot of sweat and hard sweat and tears
mi hijo.
of my son,
Mi hijo más grande.
my oldest son.
Y Dios que me lo bendiga. Gracias, Señor.
I just ask him, God protect him, please. God guide him. Thank you so much, sir. We don't want to keep on doing this interview with you because it's a really it's a really hard scene when you're watching this kind of situation. I was doing an interview not too long ago in Tapachula, in the place that is called, it's about 28 miles away from Tapachula. It's called Mapastepec. And I was doing an interview to a woman that lost her child of a year and 2 months. When you are doing these kind of interviews, for God's sake, it is so heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking when you are doing these interviews and you have lost your life and somebody close to you has lost his life. And it's just sad. And then you got comments that say, yeah, it is really sad when people break the law and get killed. For God's sake, holy cow. This is when I say, when did we forget to be human? I'm not pandering that it was okay for these people to do this illegally, but nobody is focusing on the real problem. For God's sake, nobody's focusing that this is open borders and that politicians, leaders, and dictators are the ones that they need to be held accountable, and their hands are the ones that they're covered with blood. Nobody's saying that. On the other hand, yeah, it is sad. They break the law. That's what happens, Oscar. Holy cow. When did we forget to be human? They're using human beings. It is modern day slavery. This is what it is, people. It is modern day slavery. You put an idea on a person that the best country that exists in the world, that is the United States of America, it is open for you to come and for you to enter to have the American dream. When you put this idea on the world, what do you think is going to happen? And you got another comments. Really, I'm not reading into the trolls or comments. You try to find the logic on these comments, and there's a comment that I don't know if it is kind of like, in a way, you guys understand this comment. Do those other countries not have humans to help their own people? Holy cow. Holy cow. Whew. This is the first of 4 migrants that they are returned home to be buried in their native home as the open border mafia, like Jim Bembe used to call it. Open border mafia. Jim Bembe used to call it. And it is just not working. It is a broken system. The open border mafia, it is led by dictators, elite, socialist, communist people. And now the open border, it is led by, ultimately in the West Hemisphere, in the continent of America, by the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden. And a lot of people are saying, we are full. We cannot take them. We don't have no space. That idea, instead of plastering it on a live feed, can you implement that idea? And I'm not suggesting that you do that, but I'm just saying, can you implement that idea in your community with your, political leaders? Can you do that in your country, please? I don't understand where you're going. This is a catastrophe that is, we have said this before, and we have been preaching for 4 years now, and this is why the left in the United States of America and the left in the world do not want us to be talking about the globalist compact of immigration. It is the number one problem of this. Countries sign into it, and countries' blood is covering in their hands. As this right here, blood is covered in the President of the United States of America's hands. He's the one that said, I'm going to create a better pathway for migrants. I'm going to create a better pathway for the world to come. When you create these ideas and when you manage this ideology, and then you will say that this is not a crisis, that this is a challenge, like people are trophies, these kind of situations and horrible things happen. It's horrible. So the first out of 4, the first out of 50, the first 4 out of 56 migrants were returned to their country of Guatemala after being smuggled into our country of Mexico. And this is just as a tragic accident that left for 56 people dead. And ultimately, there's a huge investigation right now being done in our country of Mexico, which there's a lot of corruption and there's no solution that is going to come, as there's 3 people that they have been halted and terminated on their operations, 3 officials from the Institute National Immigration. This is video right now of the most recent group of migrants that they were staying in the part of the Highway Libramiento Sur. It is called Libramiento Sur. It is a highway that connects from Tapachula all the way to Talisman port of exit. That is the port of exit that connects to Guatemala. So apparently, this is what the Institute National Immigration of Tapachula, for God's sake, horrible what they're doing, the horrible job what the Institute National Immigration is doing. So what they did was they saw a massive group of people coming into the part of the Talisman port of entry from Guatemala over here. So the Institute National Immigration said, you know what? All of you stay right here on the road. And they put them to stay, sleep, and live on the side of the road. If you're going to accept, if we are under, and I'm talking about Mexico, this has nothing to do with the United States. Talking about Mexico, where I live. And this is the situation. If we are going to be on these globalist compact of immigration, and if we are going to continue with this open borders, shouldn't be this inhuman. And I'm not pandering to migrants. I'm just saying, why are we continuing with this if we are torturing people? This is complete human abuse. It's modern day slavery. What happens in the Darien Gap, what happens in the Lampedusa Island, that their migrants are migrating through the Mediterranean Sea, what happens into all of this. And somebody's asking a really good question. Why doesn't Mexico president pull out of the migration pact? And I will get right into that, into the next statement. that you guys are going to understand why is this a mafia? This is a business. This is why I have said it before. The globalist compact of immigration that is led by dictators, socialists, communists, people that they are particularly making a business out of human beings. So today, buses were provided for 1,500 migrants as they were in these conditions on the side of the freeway or a highway or a road, as whatever you want to call it, that connects to Guatemala. These are the conditions that they are living. And I'm not saying, because a lot of people are going to say it's their fault, they came over and they didn't have no, sustenance to particularly live. Practically, you're right. But I will say, if the Institute of National Immigration is telling them, stop right here in the road and this is where you're going to live, holy cow. This is why tragedies happen. What would happen if an accident just runs over all these 1,500 people right here on the side of the road? So buses were provided. Again, people are going to ask who's paying for the buses. It's a question that is consistently asked. I have said this 70 trillion times. The government of Mexico, it is the one that is paying for the buses. As you guys are seeing right here, buses that are being provided for them to leave the state of Chiapas and for them to not only leave the state of Chiapas, but ultimately go to other states. They go to other states in our country of Mexico. So, there's a comment right here by my partner says, but they put themselves in this situation. Absolutely, I understand that. I completely understand that. But if they put themselves in this situation, why the Mexican government is allowing this to continue on this situation? It is exactly what is happening in the borders of the United States, Anthony. They put themselves in that situation. Why the government of the United States of America is allowing that situation to continue? Brother, I'm just saying. Our own governments are the ones that they're complicit on this. If we're provoking people to come, and if we're telling people to come, and we don't have no resources and supplies to take care of people, why are we still provoking people to come and live under these horrible conditions? I don't understand. Where is the logic? This is the number one thing, that if we don't have control over what is happening in the south border, on every border, don't even talk about what is happening in, the borders of Mexico, in the south and the borders of Mexico, in the north. Don't even talk about that. Again, I'm not going to argue with you because you're going to exactly the same thing, Anthony. They're breaking the law. Where's the logic on that? Who's breaking it? The migrants are breaking it, but who's incentivizing that to happen? Who's telling them that it's okay? There's no process to migrate. There's no legal pathway. You invite illegalities to happen and to continue. That is the problem. So buses are being provided now. The situation with this, when you have buses, there's no control after that. So the aftermath of the buses, it is that you don't know where everybody is going to go. If they're going to be contained in these states, or if they're going to be just let go. The live feed is full with really incompetent questions, really. I'm just seeing competent questions. I'm not talking about my bro. I'm just seeing right now. The live feed is beast right now. It's a beast with just illogical questions. The live feed is just, look at the live feed, Anthony. Look at the live feed right now, bro. So this is what is happening right now. Of the current situation, you put people under this condition, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think the aftermath is going to be? What do you think that the aftermath is going to be? I really don't understand. You provoke catastrophes and you provoke crisis, and the aftermath is going to be completely, this. People getting smuggled, child trafficking, child abuse, women abuse, child abuse, labor. All this to continue. Now, this is something that I wanted to put in the live feed. And this was a statement released by Marcelo Ebrard. If you guys don't know who Marcelo Ebrard is, Marcelo Ebrard, it is the leader of international relations in our country of Mexico. He was the one that re-signed, again, the Globalist Compact of Immigration. And this was an that just happened. And I will translate what it says on the top. It says, solicitations or petitions skyrocketed 300% of refugee in comparison to 2020. Why did they skyrocket? Let's go back to the comments that they were saying that, they're committing illegalities, and they know that they're walking illegally to their other countries, and, America first and Mexico first and all this. All right, you patriot. Why did it skyrocket? Why? 300% skyrocket. Who's in charge of the U.S.? Who is in charge? Who's in charge of Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Venezuela, Colombia, Chile, Argentina? As you guys have seen, there's a huge threat right now in the United States of America, as United States troops are leaving right now to the borders of Poland with Belarus, because ultimately Poland and Belarus, they're having a humongous problem, and there's a lot of Russians infiltrating into Poland, and the United States is sending troops over there. As you guys have seen, a lot of people from Russia, they have come into the south border of Mexico and entered the south border of Mexico. And now there is a national threat, as a couple of days ago, 10 people from the entity of Russia and the entity of Turkey were detained at the one hotel in the south border of Tapachula. These people were paying $75 a night. People are not suffering with money and migrants, right? These are people that they're not economical migrants or suffering something in need. Just saying. So this statement says, Marcelo Ebrard is the Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Mexico. Skyrocket 300% solicitations and petitions of refugee in Mexico in comparison to 2020. Why 2020? 2020 was particularly the year where the Stay in Mexico policy was implemented differently, as the Stay in Mexico policy is way different as Joe Biden is implementing right now. The Stay in Mexico policy of this one, in comparison to the one that Trump had, Stay in Mexico policy, it is particularly, it has a lot of loopholes. And I'm not saying, I'm not preaching to, oh my God, there are bad loopholes. Oh my God. No. I'm just saying there's loopholes in this Stay in Mexico policy that Joe Biden has implemented. Number one, the Stay in Mexico policy of the Trump administration applied for every state and every border immediately. In comparison to the Stay in Mexico policy of Joe Biden is implemented from one state to another slowly. So they're going from, they started already in San Diego, California, and they started in Ciudad Juarez and El Paso, and then they're going to move to Brownsville, Texas. Now, this is different as with the Trump administration. Another difference, it is that, that's as is going slowly by state, Joe Biden said that only the vulnerable people are going to be allowed, which is vulnerable, people with sicknesses, people with, special needs, people that have disabilities, people that they are politically persecuted immediately. These are the people that that particularly they're going to be admitted embedded. Venezuela, Cuba, some cases of Nicaragua, and some cases of West Africa or Africa. And then you got the other loophole that is the LGBTQ. I don't have nothing against the LGBTQ community. I have never talked bad about the LGBTQ community. I don't have nothing. I'm not a xenophobic. I'm not an homophobic. Please, clearing that out. And also unaccompanied minors and children. Also, they're going to be out. But I'm just saying this before, the pandering to the, oh my God, Oscar Blue. No. The LGBTQ community, it is the other one that is vulnerable situation. So let me read this article for people to understand. It says 300 petitions of refugee have been skyrocketed since the comparison of 2020. You're talking about that you want to be, oh my God, America and America, America. Why it has skyrocketed? Ask your president. It says the Commission of Mexico and Help to Refugees, that is the Comar in Mexico, has received a proposal for 2022 for the part of the government of Mexico. And also, guess what? This is when you got a lot of problems. Also, the government of Mexico has told the Comar, the Commission of Refugees, that they have solicited help from who? From who do you think? It says the United Nations. Imagine that. So they're soliciting help from the United Nations. A lot of people say, why does Mexico does not get out of this globalist compact of immigration? It is a business. It's a humongous business. You pander to these kind of businesses that they are NGOs, non-governmental organizations. All these situations that they're particularly right now organizations that they're profiting out of the multi-million trillion business, and it is a funneling of money. It is a funnel of money. Complete funneling. It is a non-stop effect. So all the people that they're migrating to dangerous journeys like the Darien Gap, like the Lampedusa Island in Italy and the Mediterranean Sea, all these people that they're particularly migrating as in irregular migration, but in terms to with their claim of, we are under persecution. All of this is going to continue because they need help now. It will be so easy to just understand that legal migration, it is documented peacefully and with the purpose. But no, Marcelo Ebrard goes to the other solution. That is, we are going to ask for help by the United Nations. Hold on a minute. You signed the Globalist Compact of Immigration. Isn't that the first organization that should be on your country since you signed this global compact? So when this organization has been here, then they have never been here. Then it says on the bottom, the Chancellor informed that on 2021 they have received 123,187 petitions for refugee and migrants. This goes with the information that we have been giving to you guys in the past trips that we have taken to Tapachula, which ultimately we have said that more than 103,000 migrants are scattered and encapsulated in the city of Tapachula. So you have 123,187 petitions of refugee or migrants. This skyrocketed 300% in comparison to the other year of 2020, where they were 40,000 only. The last year, this is what Marcelo Ebrard said. Last year, 41,230 petitions were received. And in this year, we have 123,187 petitions for refugee. Only to clear it out that the petitions of refugee has nothing to do that you have to stay in the installations of the Institute of National Immigration. Also, Marcelo Ebrard said that the Commission of Refugees is going to receive help on 2022 by the government of Mexico, and also, guess who? The United Nations. ONU, right there. On the bottom. Crazy. Unbelievable. This is just an idea for people to understand that this is a humongous business. If people would have, if these dictators and these politicians would have the idea or the initiative to help other people suffering, they will do it like the congressman of Guatemala said one day. We want trade. We don't want aid. We want trade. We don't want aid. These people, a lot of these migrants, as I have walked with them, a lot of them, I have asked them this question. If your country would be great, if your country would have a good infrastructure, good job, security, some kind of life that it will provide you a better life, would you migrate and go on this travesty? And they say no. Why the United Nations and these elites and these particular leaders of the world and the G7 and all these countries that they are number first-class world countries, why they're not providing the help for these third world-class countries with their capitalist businesses? Because it's a gimme, gimme. I will give you, you give me. And provide trade for these countries. They want this to continue. It's exactly what happened with France, that they got out of the globalist compact of immigration. Italy got out of the globalist compact of immigration. The UK got out of the globalist compact of immigration. Germany, even with Angela Merkel, that is a leftist, radical leftist, got out of the globalist compact of immigration. They knew that this is a broken system. It is too much. You're putting people to suffer. That is the whole plan, to create a catastrophe and to create a crisis. That is the whole plan. So you can funnel and fund and fund and fund and open a border. There's no regular migration. There's no documented migration. There's no fixing the problem with people, the immediate third world class country people. Not only that, the United States has given so much money to third world class countries, but in the wrong hands. That has been a humongous mistake. That only one administration has completely changed that ideology. And everybody's going to be like, oh, you're kissing Trump's feet. Oh my God, orange man, orange man. I'm not pandering to Donald Trump. The only thing that I have asked this question to leaders of caravans. Look at the question that I have asked. I said this to one of the leaders of the caravan. I said this. You guys are saying that Donald Trump is the most horrible man that exists in the world. Now, I want to ask you this question. He had the $4 billion that he was going to distribute to Central America, but he had a task force. He was going to send his task force to make sure that every single dollar was being spent, particularly in education, in infrastructure, on security, on la. Was that wrong? They say, no, that's not wrong. That's correct. That's the way they should be. In comparison to Biden, he wants to send the $4.8 billion, this bill that he's going to pass, because there's a necessity now. There's a necessity now. And because there's a necessity now, you're going to provoke a bill to be passed. And that bill to be passed, it is a $4.8 billion that Joe Biden wants to pass now again. But Joe Biden is sending those $4.8 billion to who? To non-governmental organizations, not to the problem, to fix the problem. Remember, Sarah Carter interviewed a congressman from Guatemala, And he said, we want trade. We don't want aid. Not only that, remember what Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, said? He said, sending money from the United States, from our patriots, from El Salvador to our country, it is a vicious cycle. It doesn't get the problem resolved. Why? Because people will depend on the dollar. So people will get out with the idea that the dollar, it is dependable, that the dollar is the one that depends on you, that the dollar, it is the one that manages your life. So why are you creating that idea? Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, says we need to create an idea that our coin, our dollar, it is valuable, that our economy is valuable, that we don't depend on another economy, that we can work together as an international trade, but we don't depend on another economy. So we will not be asking for help consistently from the United States of America and depending on the United States of America. So what we need to do is create our own great economy, fight corruption, fix the problem, but we need a little boost. We need a little push. We need a little help to fix that. It has done in the past. Multiple presidents in the past of the United States have given away thousands and thousands and millions, but ultimately in the wrong hands. And that has been a problem. So a lot of U.S. citizens are saying, my God, we have been given millions for years, Oscar Blue. We have been our tax dollar. Yeah, I understand that. To who you have been giving it? To what? Juan Orlando Hernandez? The dictator from Honduras? To who? Maduro? Remember what you did with Wall Street, giving millions to Hugo Chavez? What happened to that? What? You're giving it to who? The past president of El Salvador? In Ecuador? What? You're giving it to Enrique Peña Nieto? The past president of Mexico? One of the most corrupt presidents that has existed in history? With Fast and the Furious and all this crap that Barack Obama did to our country? The only president that has, past president, that it was in the administration that wanted to fix that, it was Trump. I'm sorry, but it was the only one. Is the only one that it was completely going to say, you know what, hell with it. How much money we're giving away to these people, man? How much money? We're giving away millions. Oh, you know what? There was an interview that it was a really funny interview. Donald Trump was sitting down at an interview. I think that it was with Tucker Carlson. I think so. Oh, I don't know. I think it was Hannity or Tucker Carlson. I don't even know. And then they asked him a question when he was in office. Donald Trump I think he told Pompeo, or I don't know who he told. He said, hey, you know what? We need to get rid of all these MS-13s people, man. We need to return them back to their country. It is a huge problem for us. Why are we keeping these people over here, man? So he had a long talk with it was not Bukele, yet the president of El Salvador. It was the other guy. I don't remember his name. So he had a long talk with the president of El Salvador. And it said, you know what? I'm going to return all the MS-13s or MS Mara Salvatruchas to you. And the president of El Salvador said, no. We don't want them. And Trump said, hey, you don't want them. They're your native people. It is not our problem. They're causing problems over here in our country. We're going to return them back to your country. And then the president of El Salvador said, no, we don't want them. No. You stay with them. You fix it. You take care of that problem. They left. That's not our problem anymore. Then Trump said, you know what? He told Pompeo, hey, how much money are we giving to El Salvador every year, man? Oh, sir, we're giving, I don't know how many millions. Stop that. They don't want to help us. We'll stop giving them money. And immediately, the next day, the president of El Salvador, hey, you know what? I'll take them. I'll fix it. I will pull them and we will put them on these camps and we will build security and we will build the program and we will do and we will say and we are going to fix the problem. And they're like, look how quick it changed, huh? How quick it changed. It's exactly what he did with Mexico. And I'm 100% Mexican, born in Mexico and in Tijuana. Exactly what he did in Mexico. Caravan after caravan after caravan coming in. There was a lot of irregularities at the border, children being dropped on the other side of the wall, dropping them, cartel working and la. And he said one day, you know what the hell are we doing over here, Mike? To Pompeo. The hell are we doing over here, man? How are we gonna? This guy AMLO, he doesn't listen, man. What the hell? I thought that he was a nice guy. No, he doesn't listen. He's really stubborn, and he has these communist ideas. Well, you know what? How much we can put as a tariff? Let's put a little threat. Somebody saying Geneva Henderson, Oscars keep blaming others. Holy cow. Oh my God. So immediately after that, they had a little thing. Let's put a tariff on Mexico with 5% tariff on automobile, and avocado, and beer. The world went crazy in Mexico. Oh my God, the most racist president. He's a horrible president. Horrible. He's putting a tariff on us. So everybody in Mexico was on that idea, but they were not watching the problem that it was creating in the south border, that this imbecile right here that you see, this incompetent imbecile, Marcelo Ebrard, he was the one that created this problem for us, Mexico. Not fixing migration, creating a catastrophe, a chaotic migration. Creating a safe legal pathway, creating an illegal pathway, people to migrate through different pathways, horrible places. Somebody saying, Oscar, you should fix the problem yourself. My God, I got a lot of them, man. Got a lot of problems. So right now, I got to fix the car. The water pump is just, it has a little hole right there. And I wanted to fix it yesterday, but it was raining. I got that problem. Then the other day, I had another problem. You know, the dog was barking all night to a cat that is in front and is always walking over here and late at night. So I got to fix that problem also, man. I don't know what to do with that cat. He's always walking around outside the house. And I'm always screaming at the cat, hey, fuchilaca, orale, váyase de aquí, cara. Then I got Black Dogs Matter always barking at this cat, man. I got a dog. His name is Black Dogs Matter. So I got that problem also. Got a problem with that. You know, I got that problem. This is an issue. I'm sorry. I cannot fix that right now. I got the problem. Antifreeze, thanks so much. I got that problem right now. The cat walking around inside my house. God. I'm sorry. Holy cow. So this is how you implement an open border. And this is going to continue right here. As you see this statement that it was released by the Counselor of International Relations, Marcelo Ebrard, that he's going to be asking help for the United Nations or from the United Nations. From the United Nations. Let's see how that results. And lastly, this is a post that it was made. And I will put this on the screen for a lot of people that they're like, oh my God, the sensitivity, Oscar Blue. You don't have no sensitivity whatsoever. There's no sensitivity. Holy cow. Buy Me a Coffee is on the top link if you guys like to contribute to our travel fund. Thank you so much. Buy Me a Coffee is on the top link, people. Thank you, and thank you. So let me just share right here this post. Believe that this is it. Yeah. This is the post right here. A lot of people were complaining, why are you blurring their face, Oscar Blue? We as Americans, we want to see the face. It's not me. It is the post of the Border Patrol. The U.S. Border Patrol Yuma sector called the U.S. Border Patrol of Yuma and make them understand that you are angry because they cover his eyes. Call them. So it says right here, great work by the Yuma sector Border Patrol agents. It was posted by the U.S. Border Patrol Yuma sector 1 day ago, who apprehended and identified a potential terrorist after he illegally entered the United States in Yuma area of operations Thursday night. Agents encountered a 21-year-old migrant from Saudi Arabia near a county 8.5 miles in the Leave Road and determined he was a positive match linked to several Yemeni subjects of interest. The migrant will be processed for an expedited removal from the U.S. Holy cow. Holy cow. It's a lot of infiltrated people I have interviewed. When I'm walking in the caravan, I have interviewed people. They're from Pakistan. They're from also from Palestine. Also, I have interviewed people that they are from, I've seen a lot of people, multiple people from Iran also in the caravans. So this is a thing of national security right now. It's not only national security of the United States, but also the national security of Mexico. There's a really radical person right here on Facebook commentating, man, really radical. But if I answer to their comments, they're gonna be like, "What happened to our freedom of speech, Oscar Blue? I thought that you were for the freedom of speech and the Second Amendment." I'm not in the United States of America, ma'am. I'm in Mexico. Well, yeah, but I'm going to leave your live feed. You are blocking our censorship. You are censoring me. So I'm not gonna answer that. But my God, there are some radical comments, man, on the live feed. Like, hey, they should deport the world. What the hell is going on? Holy cow. Where's their solution? This is a complete rant all over the live feed. I hate the world. Holy cow. Back to the information. So the U.S. Border Patrol from the Yuma sector detained this man that particularly he is from Saudi Arabia and he's linked to several they're saying that he's linked to let me just read it again. I don't want to misinterpret, and then people are going to say that I'm giving some kind of misinformation. So it's saying and determined he was positive match linked to several Yemeni subjects of interest. So this is particularly another individual that has been stopped at the borders, and that ultimately it is going on national news on the United States side. Somebody saying, Oscar, you're losing it. You need a vacation. No, I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm all right. We're good. So, holy cow, man. We're gonna talk about this today at around at 1 o'clock West Coast time, 4 o'clock East Coast time. I will be live with Dr. Gina at Real America's Voice News, talking about this and talking about ultimately the migrants that they were detained at the one hotel in Tapachula, that they were from Russia and they were from particularly from Turkey. So that is an actual subject. There's a comment right here that is quite accurate. Quite accurate. You know how they get these clothes? And the response is because Americans donate clothes to various countries and then they wear them into our country. That is 1,000% accurate right there. if you go to Guatemala, and we have walked through Guatemala to the streets of Guatemala, you will see a lot of these mom and pop businesses outside on the streets, and you will see a lot of the clothing that is delivered and donated from the United States of America into Central American countries, and then from there they make a business selling the mom and pop and a mom and pop business outside, like a little tianguis, little excuse me, a little swap meet outside in the street. So that's why a lot of people are like, where do they get a lot of these clothes? But yes, a lot of these countries have that ability to do so. So thank you so much for joining in. I will particularly I will answer a couple of questions before I go. No, people, I'm not sick. Yes. Thank you so much, producer. Yeah, finally, somebody gets it. Where the U.S. that use donated clothes. Uh, so yes, a lot of the clothes that they're wearing along the road when they are migrating and when they're getting from tacos de birria. Hey, hey, don't mess with my tacos de birria on your 64. What's going on with you, man? Don't mess with tacos de birria, man. A lot of the migrants when they're migrating to the north, they get these, and also there's non-governmental organizations at which they help them and they donate clothing also, so they get clothing by the way that they're walking. So a lot of them, some of them you will see them wearing some kind of clothing that you're like, oh, he's wearing that T-shirt. He's against patriotism, and he doesn't even know what the hell he's wearing because they gave him that shirt as he was Mike. Oh my God, you're pandering. They have money, Oscar Blue. They have phones and they have shoes. Not arguing. I'm just saying the clothes along the road, there's places where they buy clothes that they are donated by the United States people. So I will answer legitimate, respectful questions, not radical ones, as I'm seeing right now. One that I'm not even going to put attention to that. And it is my life. It's my life, and I cry if I want to. So, bye, Felicia. Buy me a coffee is on the top link. If you guys like to donate and contribute to our independent reporting and broadcasting, thank you so much. We're going on an hour and 3 minutes of this program. So, whatever question you want to ask, I'm right here. Let me get this on the live feed. Thank you so much for joining in. Before I go, we are going to be traveling soon to Central America. It's going to be an incredible trip. Hopefully, primero Dios, first things God, to show the catastrophe and the crisis that is occurring. There is a crisis. It is not a challenge. People are suffering because of this. Thanks so much, Miss Nancy, and also Michael. Thank you so much for the coffees. Thank you so much for the coffees. Thank you. God bless you. Need to put your videos on Rumble. I'm going over there. Little by little, I'm going over there. It won't stop till there is a revolution against our government, and it's inevitable. What a Merry Christmas, Oscarin. Merry Christmas, Patty. It's really a strong comment, but sometimes I'm not going to say anything because he's saying, oh my God, he's supporting a war, and I'm not going to say anything. In support from everyone and follow Native Americans like me. I'm still, Oscar, you need support from everyone. Okay, let me just put this comment. Oscar says, Oscar, you need support from everyone and fellow Native Americans like me. Oh, nice to meet you. In the USA, all humans are made up mostly of water, and all humans' blood is red. Oscar, you keep on doing what your heart says. My God, that is a deep comment. Holy cow, Naomi, pleasure to meet you. That is a deep, deep comment, man. These comments are the ones that I take home and I'm just eating on the table and I'm thinking about them and I don't even know what the hell I'm thinking. But that is a deep comment. Thank you so much. All humans are made up mostly of water and all humans' blood is red. Oscar, you keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much for that comment. Holy cow. I like those kind of comments, man. Really, I like those. Thanks so much, Luti Ha Ha. Luti Ha Ha. Luti Haga. Luti Haga. Luti Haga. Thanks so much for the coffees. Sorry about misspelling your name, but thanks so much for your coffees. Let me just get should be able to do the river independently, right? Why is the cartel involved today? Border areas. Hi, Oscar. In my opinion, migrants are already here. What Biden did, but keep in mind that the United States don't send money to other countries. Just a thought. Okay. Vivian Torres. Hi, Oscar. In my opinion, these migrants are already here. Give them what Biden did. But keep in mind, the United States doesn't send money to other countries. Just a thought. We are all God's children. That is a really questionable comment. Can somebody in the live feed answer respectfully to BVN, please? Really questionable comment. Really questionable. There's another one. Gene Nelson. Oscar, can you help us understand why or how the cartel got involved? It's always been. They're always been involved with everything that is illegal and irregular. Always been. And those are the ones that control the government over here. Migrants should be able to cross the river independently, right? Yes, they should be. But because the cartel is ruled by regions, they rule all these irregularities as they make it irregular. Why is the cartel involved? Money. Too many questions, but I'm answering every single one of you. Money and power. Do they own the border areas in Mexico? Yes, they do. U.S. border is wide open, accepting anyone who crosses, right? No, it's not wide open in several particular places. In Texas, there is a wide open areas in Arizona, but there's also areas that is closed, and it is not wide open. Somebody saying Iran and Saudi Arabia are talking about Yemen and peace via the United Nations. Remember that the Chancellor of Iran got together on the year 2020, I believe, so with the guy from Yemen, and both of them, they said that they were going to they're going to find a retaliation for the assassination of Qasem Soleimani. They made a threat to the United States of America. So I don't know what kind of peace are they trying to make when they are completely saying that they are going to retaliate other countries. If you're gonna find peace, you should find peace through the world and every country, not through the countries that you only have an international trade relationship. It's too much information, Pam. You're asking me to just put myself on a pedestal, and I'm not. It's too much. So your question, if you want, there will be another live feed, but it's too much. Okay. There's a comment right here. But American government is sending money to the Southern Triangle. Yes, they were. I thought during the Trump administration they put more tariffs, which can't control the movement of people. That was in Mexico. Just my thoughts. And the tariff was lifted when the Biden administration came into office. More comments? Can we exchange? Can we set up an exchange program for Mexico? I love La Bufadora. Ah. La Bufadora, it is a particular place in Ensenada, Baja California, which it is beautiful. It is kind of like it's a really a, and I'm gonna sound really liberal right now, and as a Democrat, excuse me, Lord, excuse me, but it is a massive wave, and it's some kind of a climate weird thing that it goes on the water. I'm sorry, Lord. Believe me, I'm really sorry. And it's kind of like this effect that it's there's a humongous cliff and there's rocks. So the water hits this cliff and it sucks the water underneath when it hits the cliff, when the waves hit the cliff. And then it gives them like 5 or 6 seconds and it creates an explosion, like an eruption of water. So everybody goes to this cliff and it's already been like a nice little pier, so everybody goes there to get wet. And the kids were like, the explosion of water. It is kind of like a tourist area and it's kind of like a tourist spot. It has a lot of restaurants. It has a lot of beautiful places to eat, particularly Ensenada fish. It is the number one thing. But no, I don't think that we can exchange that. We have so many beautiful places. And I'm sorry again. Sorry. uh This is a really incompetent comment. There was never serious terrorism in Mexico. Avocado and beer. Come on, man. What do you want? What do you want? Do you know that your economy depends on the Mexican economy? Do you know that? You want me to be real with you? You want me to level with you, or you don't want to level with me because you are an American? You sound pretty, and I don't want to sound like a liberal, but you sound pretty imperialistic in all the live feed I have been seeing you downgrading another country. You know that the cheap man labor is in Mexico for the automobile industry, that is the number one industry in the United States of America, that is the one that is providing millions and trillions to your economy. Do you know how many capitalist businesses are involved in the other side of the borders in Mexico? Do you know how many capitalist businesses are involved on the other sides of every border? Do you know that you need international trade and international tourists to come back and forth for your economy to be boosted? Do you know how much avocado and beer provides on every year of an economy to your country? Do you know how much the automobile industry, it is so important to your economy right now? That is the number one reason why Trump brought the cheap man labor from China all the way to Mexico, so he will not be spending on proximity millions and trillions. Do you know about that? No, you don't, because you just open your mouth. Let's put something serious on Mexico. We close the country. Keep everybody out. That's you, right? Education is so important. Patricia, thank you so much. Oscar, have a great day and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Another one. What about auto parts? Completely with you. I gave the statistics not too long ago of how much it is so important, the auto parts between Mexico and the United States of America. The auto parts are being imported from the United States, into the United States of Mexico for the economical, wave of the automobile industry. The United States brings it, we fix it, we make it, and then we export it. It's really important for us to understand how the economy works in every border. This is why that the MEC, the international trade between the United States, Canada, and Mexico, it is so important. It keeps the fluency of the economy. Into that incompetent comment, I just like to tell you that you know that the United States economy, it is built on international trade and on tariffs. You know that, right? Without you having international trade and tariffs, your economy will be sucked out. You know that, right? Or you don't know that? You want to be a communist country? You want to be like Venezuela and Cuba? You want to close the United States like a globe? Do not let nobody in. We make it here. We live out of our resources. We live out of this. You want to become a communist country? That is a communist country. Read what communism and socialism is about. Read it. Close it. So you will see what happens. Holy cow. My God. I'm leveling with you. Because you have been denigrating comments the whole life. You know, these people, they come over here and they try to denigrate other people's thoughts. And it is not like that. It's disrespectful. People are asking legitimate questions and they want to know and they want to be educated on. That is what it is. The economy of the United States in history has always depended on international trade. Always depended on international trade. All your capitalist businesses are around the world. And that is what makes the United States great. Everything they export. Everything. It is a great exporter and importer of the world. You don't only export, car parts and food, and you export businesses and you export, public figures, basketball players, the NFL, the NBA, the MLB. Holy cow. Crazy. Thank you so much for everybody to be listening today. God bless everybody that is watching. An hour and 17 minutes going in this live feed. Before I go, I want you guys to go right now. Go right now, as right now. And also the haters. Haters, go also right now. Right now, as stop what you're doing. And go right now into these platforms. Go right now and follow my partner, Real Anthony Agüero. You can follow him at Getter. You can follow him in Rumble. You can follow him in YouTube. You can follow him in Instagram. You can follow him at Twitter. You can follow him at all platforms that exist in the whole world and also outside. Whatever platform that is not existing, Anthony's over there. Follow my partner. Stop what you're doing. Go over there. Give it a like to his platform and follow him at Getter. Follow him right now. As there's a few of us that we have done tirelessly work on the border. Tirelessly work at the border. We don't just sit down at a desk and we just type, or we don't just go to a border and we put a stand and we just look pretty and we say, look, they're coming in right now as breaking news. They're walking in. We have done so much of coverage at the border, walked through caravans, multiple caravans. My partner has worked tirelessly late at night, broadcasting, walking with the threat of being sick through every border in the United States of America. And we have done it also in our side of Mexico, in the south border in Tapachula with Guatemala. Walked to more than 18 municipal cities for multiple kilometers, day in and day out. We put in the work. We don't talk the walk. we walk the walk. There's a really good comment right here before I go. Oscar, can you advocate for farmers in Mexico who want to create a business of farmers in Mexico? They're the architects of our land. Farmers in Mexico, they're not valued as they need to be valued in our country. Farmers in Mexico are the ones that they are giving us food, they're giving us a better life, and we don't appreciate them as they appreciate us. We don't appreciate them as exactly in the United States. The United States is not appreciating the farmers that they are working at the fields. Without them, you will not have food on your table. Follow my partner, Real Anthony Agüero, in all platforms, please. Do that. We're going to do a live feed later on the week. Every time that we do a live feed, we argue, but I love him. That's exactly, Ben Berquam. Also, follow Ben Berquam at Real America's Voice News, the voice of the people. Frontline America with Ben Berquam also. Follow him. It's our colleague and chief investigative reporter, Ben Berquam. You can follow me, lastly. You can follow me at Getter. You can follow me also at YouTube. Give it a like to this video and share it, man. Follow me at YouTube. Follow me at Getter. Follow me at Twitter. Follow me at Facebook and Telegram. Oh, I forgot. Follow Anthony at Telegram. Also, it's Real Anthony at Real Anthony Agüero. Follow me also and Telegram. It's Oscar Blue. Also, you can follow in Instagram. I don't use Instagram that much, but Instagram I have one that is called Oscar Blue Media because they took one down, so I made that one. And then there's another one that is Oscar Blue Team. I don't post on Instagram. Go to Oscar Blue Team. That's the one that is posting consistently. Thank you to all our ranchers on this show, and thank you to our moderators and friends and my producer. Thank you so much. God bless you all. My God, man, when do we forget to be human? That's the problem. God bless you all. Stay safe. And like we always say, peace and love, because always your country first. God bless.
Ya van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days and it's been weeks, and Good things are at this canyon right here.
It's absolutely incredible. I haven't been to Tijuana in a lot of years, and seeing how wide open it is. I mean, I don't know if you could turn the camera around and show everyone just how wide open it is. It's incredible.
A couple of questions. So. Ms. Rashida, what is your opinion on the massive child trafficking that is happening? Y espero logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the basically fight for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso.
¡Viva! La Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.